Today is a public holiday to celebrate the fourth Republican democracy. The day, according to government, is to recognize the sacrifices the nation paid in the current constitutional dispensation. There's more in the following report.
January 7, 1993 was the day the 1992 Constitution came into force for the Fourth Republic of Ghana. This was after its approval at a referendum held on April 28, 1992. The same January 7 date is also the day new heads of states are sworn into office. Government, in justifying the rationale behind the holiday in Parliament, said the day will afford the nation time to reflect and recognize the sacrifices made to ensure sustenance of the democratic dispensation, which has so far witnessed 6 presidents, including the current Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Information Minister Kwadwo Nkrumah says the holiday is significant.
Government is of the view, therefore, that properly so-called, that day must be recognized for what it is, as a day for introspection. A day not for celebration and fanfare, but a day for introspection. A day that we spend time reflecting on our fourth Republican constitutional democracy, how we have come here, what this fourth Republican constitutional democracy is, the parts that are working well that need to be deepened, the parts that need to be examined.
You're the Information Minister ending that news desk report. Meanwhile, some Ghanaians are questioning the relevance of the day. Daniel Dadzi has been interacting with some students at the Accra Technical University.
So what do you know about the Constitution?
Actually, what I know about the Constitution is a set of rules, or I don't know what to say, set of rules used to govern a country or something.
Great. How about you? What have you heard about it?
Oh, like just as he said, is the rules and regulations for governing a country.
Do you think it's important?
Oh yes, without it we can't have freedom and peace in the country.
So do you know any rights that the Constitution gives you?
Yeah, I have the right to vote, and I think it's passed.
Have you voted before?
Yes, I've voted before.
Really? Hey, you look like you're underage. Anyway, let me ask you, what do you know about the Constitution?
I know it's a set of rules for governing a country. It allows us to get our rights and our freedom to do whatever we like in a country as we are in the democratic world.
That sounds good. So tell me, if we did not have the Constitution, what do you think will be in Ghana now?
Chaos. Chaos and chaos. Because, you know, with the Constitution, it set the rules where's your right begins is where somebody's rights end. So with the Constitution, it gives the fundamental lay down of everybody's right. You know where your right begins, where your right ends. So where your right ends is where somebody's right begins. So I think it is a laudable idea, and I will support the Constitution every day.
So which rights do you enjoy now that the Constitution has given you?
Freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of joining association, and I'm enjoying almost everything that comes with it.
That's great. That's great. But let me ask, tomorrow is Constitution Day, and because of that, no one will work, at least if you're not in an essential service. How important do you guys think it is for us to have a holiday set aside to remember the Constitution? Let me start with my man here.
Oh, okay. It is very cool because we are going to use tomorrow as a day to remember everything. You see, to even educate the children, you see, through television shows and what have you, so that the children will get to know what our Constitution entails, so that they can be able to fight for their right or in the nearby future or something like that. So it's very crucial for the government to take a time like that to celebrate our Constitution. So I think it's very important.
Some would say that we should rather use the time to work hard so that the country prospers more. What do you think?
Well, I know of this statement that all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. So I don't think it's bad thing about it. So I think if that day is set for us, I think it's a good, like doing revision for exam. I think it's good. It's good for the government to do that.
It looks like someone doesn't want to go for lectures tomorrow. What do you think? Do you think the Constitution Day holiday is important?
Yeah, it's very important, because as a human being, you can't be working at any time, which makes you down. You have to get some time to entertain, to refresh yourself. And with that, it even improves your mental faculty. You see, that is it.
So you agree that the holiday improves your mental faculty?
No, I don't agree. I don't really see the essence of the holiday, to be sincere, because they are saying that it's Constitutional Day, so holiday. I still don't get why is it Constitutional Day should be a holiday.
So what would you rather we would do to mark the starting of our Constitution?
starting of our constitution.
Yeah, or the establishment of the constitution. If we wanted to mark it in a way, how would you rather we marked it?
That remember that there's a constitution. Yeah. And as long as we are living, everyone knows that there's a constitution, so there's no need to mark it.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Interesting, interesting. So he feels it doesn't really matter. What do you think?
I don't think it matters at all. We can remember our constitution every day. We shouldn't set aside a day to remember our constitution. I don't think it is necessary. I don't think it is important. It is a waste of time. That day could have been used for another purpose. We can remember our constitution every day. We shouldn't set aside to remember our constitution, which means that things should begin from the day one, from the kindergarten. Let's instill it in our educational system. Let's kids know this is what the constitution stands for. This is what it's meant for this country. But setting aside a day, and they'll just go speech without nothing, I don't think it is important. To me, I don't think it is relevant at all.
Now, a founding member of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Kwadwo, has warned the party's executives in the Ashanti region they risk creating conflict if they maintain their stance not to allow interested candidates to contest certain MPs in the upcoming primaries. Some regional executives of the party have members they cannot contest in the party's upcoming primaries in constituencies where the party has certain members of parliament. But Dr. Kwadwo says that is fundamentally against the principles of the party. He's been speaking to JoyNews in the following interview.
You don't sit in public place to discuss the plans, strategies, and the thoughts of the party. But what I tried to tell you initially was not talking generally about parliament. I'm saying MPP in parliament. Yes. There is leadership there. You call them. You call Chairman Owusu. He's the head of the majority.
And he's in support of the proposal
Very
to protect
good.
them.
He may not be totally right. He may not be right. So long as you understand that other viewpoints come, he is right in the sense that you need experienced people. Do you need everybody? No. Who are the experienced people that we need to maintain? Who are the new people that should come? Let me give you an example. When I was doing my PhD as an engineer, I carried Fortran cards. Boxes were like this. For my research, I had 6. Each one had about 2,000 information on it.
Okay.
You carry them like that. You go to the lab. The computer at that time could stand from here to the wall there. Now, you use a handset to do a lot of things. Now, how did it come about? If we have to hold on to the old ideas, you won't generate new ones. See, the youth are coming. Some we have to groom to quickly take over. Some may have to be delayed. That is why I'm saying, get a group of people together. There are rules and regulations within this party, okay? The final decision belongs to the national conference of the party, where everybody will stay and decide this is the procedure we have to adopt. Not change the rules in the middle of the way, okay? Otherwise, you will lose potential leaders in future, okay? If we were going to keep old people in place all the time, our president wouldn't have had a chance at all because there were other older people who were very effective. You allow them, you let them grow. And if you look at Kwadwo, he's grown from when he was a young man up to this time. He's achieved it. But you see, the people accept him as such. It's the decision of the people. The constitution of the party belongs to the people of the party. Therefore, you can only, in a position, express your opinion. The opinion should be all-embracive. The people of the party, if they say, we don't want you, and the chairman, the head of our party in parliament says, no, he's good, it's not a problem. Let's sit down.
Let's do some more stories here. And the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is asking consumers to brace themselves for doubling of fuel prices in Ghana should the geopolitical tensions between the US and Iran continue for even the next few days. In its alert issued following the tensions, it says government must immediately begin buying and stocking up crude from the international market to minimize the shocks which will be unleashed. We'll hear from Executive Director of COPEC shortly. First, though, Duncan Namwa, who is the Executive Director of Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, has been speaking to JoyNews editor Fred Smith.
Tensions are rising in the Middle East because of the disagreement or the war between the United States and Iran. Tell us from where you sit what the implications are for us here in Ghana.
We think it is high time the Ghanaian government get some needed resources for institutions like BOST to at least import something that will give Ghana some fuel security. If you look at the way the tensions are escalating, Iran has indicated they are willing to target 300 different sites of the United States. The US is also saying 52 sites of Iran would go up. You don't know when any of them will make, the first step, and you definitely can imagine what the implications will be on fuel prices. Just the killing of Soleimani has seen fuel prices gone up by some 2-3% globally. We are quite certain that if the tensions do not de-escalate anytime soon, fuel prices may get to a point where it becomes probably double what it is today. And we think that Ghana should not sit and be caught ball watching. As much as possible, we should take advantage of the fact that we have enough storage space. If hedging was also an option, at this point we could do a +5 with the international market, so that if prices were to soar above what we anticipated for 2020, then Ghanaians could be at least cushioned. I do not think that we should sit and wait for things to get from bad to worse before we come back to complain or throw our hands in despair. We have the options at our disposal now. The issues are going back and forth, but one can clearly see the Iranians are not backing down. If you heard, they're actually putting a bounty of some $80 million. And clearly it tells you the situation in Kenya, for instance. It tells you that these Iranians and the Islamic world or the Arab community are clearly looking for a certain revenge posture. It will be quite unfortunate if we sit here and allow events to overtake our planning. So we think that government should make sure that BOST do get some money, at least in the immediate circumstances, to bring in some strategic stock, and then also work hard enough to bring Petroleum refinery on stream. As an oil producing nation, we could have been self-sustaining without depending on the international market if the refinery was working. Unfortunately, the refinery, as we speak, is giving us zero output. So we would insist that whatever needs to be done to get Petroleum refinery up and running within the next few days, we should do so that if we are not even able to bring in finished products, whatever we produce locally, we don't need to export it back to the UK to go back for the finished product. We can refine some here and take some from the Ivory Coast and the neighboring countries if the international dynamics become quite ugly, as we are seeing.
What information do you have on the stocks at BOST?
It will be difficult at this point for any Ghanaian to wait on BOST to come to our rescue. The last time we checked, they don't have a single liter of strategic stock. In fact, they are not even bringing products for a while now. We believe strongly that the government may need to invest in them at this point, get them the needed resources to at least bring something to cover for your strategic stock position. If it's between the 6 to 8 weeks, at least you cover for 2 months, knowing very well that if the tensions do not de-escalate anytime soon, you would still be able to have something to fall back on. But as it stands, BOST doesn't look like it can sustain us if fuel or products do not come in, on a day-to-day basis as we have currently.
The local currency is also not doing well against the dollar. What would be your projection in the light of the performance of the cedi against the dollar and the situation in the Middle East for the next week or so? What will be happening in the oil front?
You see, Fred, one thing that we often do argue for government to ease down on taxes has to do with the fact that when world market prices go up, because you're a producer nation, your incomes or revenues also do go up. So it is not the case that because it's gone up, Ghana is losing. What you're also producing and exporting, those incomes would go up.
Now, the Minister for Inner Cities and Zongo Development, Mustafa Hamid, has been touring some communities in the Greater Accra region to inspect 252 household toilets as part of efforts to stop open defecation. The project, funded by the World Bank, benefited over 5,000 inhabitants in the Ododo-Dio, Klole, Kote, and Ablekuma South constituencies. Ifo Evans Chinwe has more in this report read to you.
The first phase of the project, launched in April last year by the Zongo community, is an attempt to actualize the president's vision that Accra should be the cleanest in Africa. The tour by the minister was to acquaint himself with how beneficial the project has been to residents of these communities. Speaking during his inspection tour, Minister for Inner Cities and Zongo Development, Mustafa Hamid, said the project is not only targeted at providing toilet facilities for residents in the enclave of inner cities, but also aimed at restoring human dignity through seeking an end to open defecation.
This inner city household toilet project is part of a broader governmental agenda, as the mayor indicated, to provide household toilets for the inhabitants of not just the inner cities within the Greater Accra region, but indeed the entire Accra, so that it would help to achieve the president's vision of making sure that Accra is counted as one of the cleanest cities in Africa. Already we don't have, Ghana doesn't have a very good reputation as far as open defecation is concerned. I understand that we in Sudan are ranked as some of the highest countries where there is open defecation. And we are determined to get out of that league table.
The minister was accompanied by the Accra mayor, who says tackling liquid waste is just as important as solid waste and must be critically looked at.
There are few households that already have toilets, but many do not have. So you need to have the need for it. Secondly, you need also to give out space, because it is extremely important. Some of the houses are very choked, and because the project is time-bound, we're looking for those households that will give us the space. So these are two main criteria that we used in the selection of it. But quite apart from this, the entire community is supposed to benefit, because this is inner city, this is a low-income area, and the project is intended to benefit people who are living in low-income areas.
Mr. Hamid further revealed that several sanctions will be rolled out to curb open defecation and other related issues bedeviling inner cities.
You're still watching News Today here on the JoyNews channel with me, Komla Adam. We take a quick break, return with more news. Please stay with us. You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, former President John Mahama says hardship under the Kwadwo government in 2019 resulted in the collapse of many enterprises in the country. In a New Year message to Ghanaians, the NDC flag bearer also accuses the Kwadwo government of failing to fulfill political promises. Mr. Mahama said Ghanaians deserved what he described as an honest government.
Happy New Year to you all, my fellow countrymen and women. The last pages of 2019 have shut, and a blank new one, 2020, has opened up to us. Within the last 365 days, there has been joy, happiness, and fulfilled dreams for a few, but there has been pain, anguish, and unfulfilled promises for the majority of us. In all things, however, let us continue to be thankful to the Almighty God, because we have the most valuable gift, and that is the gift of life. In our personal lives, in our family struggles, in our relationships with others, in our business commitments, and in all other endeavors and engagements, we are presented with a new opportunity to change things for the better in order to triumph over the setbacks we have encountered in the past. One of our nation's foremost literary icons, the late Professor Kofi Owusu, declared in one of his writings, and I quote, "I believe in hope, but even in its absence, I believe in the possibility of hope," unquote. Therefore, even in our darkest and most difficult moments, we must remember to hold on to hope. Let us hope and work for a better and prosperous Ghana in 2020 and beyond. Let us hope and work for a peaceful Ghana that offers opportunities for all of us and not just a few. My brothers and sisters, it is a testament to the resilience of the Ghanaian that we have never given up, but fight and inspire others to greatness. We did it during the independence struggle, where we became the first sub-Saharan nation to achieve independence. In more recent times, Ghanaians have occupied some of the highest positions in global affairs, and they have left indelible marks of excellence. As a result, the world has come to expect nothing short of inspiration from the name Ghana. So we cannot begin to see ourselves as any less. The year 2020 is an election year, and the eyes of the world will continue to be fixed on us as we go to the polls. We need to meet the highest standards set by previous electoral commissions and even better it. I do not say it lightly when I say that the 2020 election will be a pivotal event for our country. It is one that will determine the destiny of our nation. And I believe at this critical stage in our nation's life that Ghanaians deserve more than ever a government that is honest and truthful with them. A government that takes responsibility and gives them results, not excuses or blame.
From the camp of former President John Mahama, let's go to the presidency, where President Kwadwo has committed to supporting the newly appointed Chief Justice, Justice Enim Yeboah, at his swearing-in ceremony a short time ago at the Jubilee House. President Kwadwo said he would help address the problems with infrastructure in the judiciary.
Having been appointed Chief Justice of the Republic.
Having been appointed Chief Justice of the Republic
of Ghana.
Of Ghana.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana as by law established.
To the Republic of Ghana as by law established.
And that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity.
That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
And that I will truly and faithfully.
And that I will truly and faithfully.
Perform the functions of my office.
Perform the functions of my office.
Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor.
Affection or ill will.
Affection or ill will.
And that I will at all times.
And that I will at all times.
Uphold.
Preserve.
Protect. And defend. The Constitution and laws of the Republic of Ghana.
The Constitution and laws of the Republic of Ghana. I would like to thank His Excellency the President for the confidence he has reposed in me, the Council of State and Parliament for the respective constitutional roles each institution played in the appointment process. This morning, before all persons present, I have solemnly made 3 oaths for which I will be responsible to this country and to my Creator. These promises to be loyal to the Republic and faithfully perform the functions of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will guide me daily in all decisions I take in my role as Chief Justice. During my vetting by Parliament, it was evident that the following issues concerning the judiciary were of concern to the representatives of the people of Ghana, the integrity of the judiciary and the continuing perception of corruption, delays in the justice delivery system, poor infrastructure of the courts and residences of judicial officers, inadequate resources for the running of the judiciary and justice delivery system, challenges surrounding the legal education in Ghana. I want to
the rule of law. That will be in line with the finest traditions of the bench and the bar and will help enhance the welfare of our people. The bodies charged by Article 144, Clause 1 of the Constitution with the supervision of the appointment of a Chief Justice acted with diligence in this matter. My selection of the nominee was graciously assisted by a successful consultation with the Council of State, which continues to deal assiduously with all matters brought within its purview. I thank Parliament, too, for the expeditious but thorough manner in which it exercised its constitutional duty of vetting and approving my nomination of Mr. Justice Anini Yeboah for this high office.
Coming up in business, Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority suggests decoupling of the customs verification operations from its premises to ease pressure. We're back after a break. Kwadwo will join us with the latest on that and some other stories in business. Please stay with us.